Question 4, which of these are factors of this polynomial? Negative 3x to the third plus 15x squared plus 3x minus 15. So factoring rule number 1, always look for a greatest common factor first. I recognize that 3 divides into all 4 of these terms evenly, and specifically it needs to be a negative 3 because the lead coefficient is negative. So anytime the lead coefficient is negative, we're going to factor out a negative term. So we factor out the negative 3, and again, when we say factor out, it means we're dividing. So negative 3 divided by negative 3 becomes a positive 1, x to the third. 15 divided by negative 3 becomes a negative 5, x to the second. 3 divided by negative 3 becomes just a negative 1, x. And negative 15 divided by negative 3 is a positive 5. So we can check off this box for negative 3. And then really, since our goal is to factor this and not solve it, we can forget about the negative 3 and we need to factor the rest of this problem. Now, anytime there are 4 terms, 4 terms is going to imply that we're going to factor using the grouping method, which is really similar to the greatest common factor method. The only difference is there's 4 terms. So let's put those 4 terms into groups of 2 each. So we'll put these first 2 terms into a group. And then let's pick a different color. And then the second 2 terms in their own group. So those first 2 terms, what's the greatest common factor of those first 2 terms? You should recognize that each of the first 2 terms have an x squared. So we're going to factor out an x squared. And when we divide variables, we subtract the exponent. So x to the third divided by x squared is just x to the first. And negative 5x squared divided by x squared, well, the x squareds cancel out. We're left with negative 5. Second group, I'll try to make this similar color as I can. Second group at first glance does not have anything in common except the lead coefficient is a negative 1. So remember, anytime the lead coefficient is a negative number, we can factor out that negative number. So we're going to factor out negative 1. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is a positive 1x. And positive 5 divided by negative 1 is negative 5. Now, if you've done the grouping method correctly, what's on the inside of the parentheses should match up. And this is going to be one of your factors, x minus 5. The other factor, or the final factor, is what's on the outside, x squared minus 1, which you'll notice is not an option. And that's because we can factor x squared minus 1 one more time. This you should recognize as a difference of 2 squares. In difference of 2 squares factoring, we can factor it as an a minus b and an a plus b. So the square root of x squared is x, and the square root of 1 is 1. So the factors for x squared minus 1 are x plus 1 and x minus 1 in no particular order. We could have switched the plus sign and the minus sign, but those are the other 2 factors. So those 4 factors in all are the answer to number 4.